put down the microphones. The background singers is back there. David Ruffin and the Temptations.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Viridian County. I'm your host, Red Kool-Aid. On our last episode, we built a functional winery back here. You know, they got the wine and the champagne and they got grape soda. They got all that coming up out of there. This episode, we need to expand our city, man. We really, the RCI is killing me, yo. It doesn't matter how many houses I put in. It never seems to drop. So we need to start filling in some of these. You see these butt naked bald spots we got going on? We need to get all that filled. Well, not all of it, but we're going to get a considerable portion filled in. Over the next 3 episodes, we're gonna do what we need to do to go ahead and jump that river. I've low-key kind of ran out of crazy ideas. And really, I just ran out of space to do crazy stuff on this side of the river. And we need to go ahead to the other side. Y'all remember when we built the Jackson shoe factory, the shoe manufacturers or whatever? It's supposed to be other stuff over there, man. We got to get over there. So to do that, though, we need to finish this up. And we can't just slap some nonsense in. We got to give it some sauce. So this is the area I'm going to be working in. Like I said, it's a big chunk. We're going to be filling that in. We're going to go right up to the border of the college. So the first thing I need to do is, off camera, I had to add a garbage service point to the Amber Lake pedestrian area. Started seeing some issues, and I just had to go ahead and add that in. But what I'm going to do to kind of create a little buffer is I'm going to sit that along a tram line that there's no stops. There's some houses right there you can see behind it, but there'll be some trees to kind of buffer that, and, you know, there's not really no pollution that comes from that. I am going to put another little industrial unit back there just to get a little bit more, some possibilities for some goods to get to some of these stores. I remember I said in the very first episode I was going to play it danger close with some of this industrial stuff, and you'll see an example of that right here, because it'll be as close as it can get to some houses without anybody complaining or getting sick. So this district is going to be called Camden. It's going to be kind of the hood. It's not going to be like the real hood, though. You know, like, it's some gangsters there, but they think they way more gangster than they are. They're not gangster compared to, like, them boys over in the Gardens or Castle Heights or nothing, but it's some gangsters. It's gangsters wherever you go. We ain't going to play them like that. I'm going to start dividing up some of these streets because the blocks are kind of chunky, and the houses that I'm going with aren't that big. I'm using, I think, 2 or 3 different sets of houses. I'm using some... They're like row house, townhouse kind of joints. They're dope. You know what I'm saying? I think they're called Lower Creek, if I'm not mistaken. King Leno on that. And I'm using these Oslo tenement residential assets that they kind of have like a project feel. But again, not like Queensbridge. But it's, you know, it feels like the projects when you in them. Especially to them, like, you can't tell them they not from the projects, but we're gonna build some like tower block projects later on. That's a few episodes away. Right now I'm just I found some trams on the workshop that are the style I like, but you can change the color, so I'm kind of juggling with the tram. I'm just conscious of the tram that's gonna run through this neighborhood, and here I'm just laying out the assets from the pack, the Oslo pack. Like I said, they're sort of tenement, sort of project vibe, but not really. It's not going to be a major sprawl of these. I'm going to make a couple blocks. I'm going to go ahead and lay those out. Y'all listen to the music. So like I was saying, nothing really too fancy with the housing. These assets right here on your screen right now, those are kind of new. I hadn't seen those. I saw those on the workshop recently. And, you know, they claim the same hood. They're just not in the same project buildings. And those will kind of sit kind of like that. We'll make a little courtyard area. And these are the Lower Creek townhouses. I think they're called Lower Creek townhouses. We're going to lay these up. Oh, that would look like, that didn't come out right. That look like, that's Batman house. We got Batman house. We're going to lay some of these out. Let's go ahead and change that. It's going to get on my nerves. You got to move out, Batman. Done with that. Let's lay out one more. I'm gonna lay out one more on the side too in a minute. But right against the school campus, I mean, we're like basically right at it. I just want to turn this into like a little garden botanical area, and I'm laying out some of the vanilla paths in between these houses, so there's a lot more movement going on and just liveliness in between these little corridors. Here you can see I got a little build up. You can see what we've done so far. Yeah, we getting there. Right here, this one little street, I just wanted to do something weird off the cuff for no reason. I'm gonna turn this one street that connects the neighborhood up into a tunnel. There's absolutely no reason for this. It was not necessary. I could have just connected it, but I just felt like there was one too many connections on this tram road. So I'm gonna run this one underneath. And it gives me another little opportunity for some light detailing. I gotta start going a little lighter on the detailing, yo. I do not want to hit my node limit. I've been checking it and making sure, but I'll be going crazy sometimes. And as you guys definitely have gleamed if you've watched more than one or two of my episodes, I cannot stand the textures on the, well, I'm not gonna say it like that. The textures on the service point things that came with the pedestrian pack just don't match my city. So here I'm using one of my little office blocks to kind of create a covering for that using PO. Not anything too fancy, just gonna try to, it definitely takes me longer than I wanted, but you can see me going into the actual little customization here, and I'm just trying to shrink it down so it fits over top of this service point so I don't see the shininess. We don't need the shiny right now. We need that old school feel. Old school players, you know what I'm talking about? So we're gonna just continue to move these little points in. It creates weird texture glitching if you don't do it really correctly. So it takes me a while to do this. I'm gonna speed some of this up. And I'm gonna bob off all these bushes and all of that because we don't need any of that around when we get to detailing. Right now I'm gonna lay out some of this brick tiling. That's pretty much, I'm gonna do like a little bit of detailing and I'm basically just gonna copy it because the neighborhood, I want it to have a uniform feel. Now I will do some individual things here and there, but mostly what I do to one block of these buildings will be done to the next one. And it's the same as when I get back to the Oslo joints. You know, I just want it to kind of look congruent. I'm just gonna copy all this stuff. And the last thing I wanted to do is this school never fit anything I had in mind, and it really didn't fit this neighborhood. So I just felt like I had to build one. I looked through a bunch of assets, but I couldn't find any elementary schools that worked. So I'm gonna build one. I'm gonna use a mill asset, and it has a little piece on it. It kind of looks like a gymnasium. So I was like, yo, this looks like an old school. We can just build our own. It's gonna be called Camden Prep Academy. Let's go. right about this point, I started looking at that door. It really started bothering me. It just didn't feel like the door that would like the entrance to a school. So I wanted to use some PO, couple of props, and do something better.
We had a chance to talk to the students last week. We got to raise these kids right, y'all. It's 98.5 City Sound.
All right, so that to me feels a whole lot more like a Viridian County school. Let's put this clock up there. Also, the murals, I end up changing those out for some custom joints. Y'all know how I do. One of them is, I think the one in the window is J. Cole, and the one on the front is just like some diversity type vibes. Y'all know I like diversity. Representation matters out here in these streets. All right, so this is like, oh, here we go, Lone Ranger. God, every episode.
The Lone Ranger.
Like I was saying, we're going to fill in this one block right here. Nothing too fancy, nothing too remarkable. We're gonna jump cut through some of it. Bam! There we go. And we're going to use some of these brick joints to kind of seal that off, make sure everything's lined up nice, and we'll just put a parking lot right there. I know there's a parking deck next to it. This is for the residents. Don't even worry about it. We might act like we didn't even see it. And we're going to close this up with a hedge so that can stay a park. That's pretty much it. You can see the progress on this whole thing. That last little bit down there is where I'm going to put the little bit of commercial. Nothing too fancy. I'm definitely going to put some stuff that feels like it should be right near this industrial unit that I just dropped. And you can see how close it is to those houses. We're going to have to slide that down some. Those people will definitely start complaining. But that's how close we're going to be. It's right across the street from the service point and a morgue. So those people, they're dead. They shouldn't say anything. We're going to drop a food and stuff, one of my favorite stores. Put that right on the corner. Definitely would be like a food and stuff. Even though you would probably still go to the corner store in this neighborhood over the food and stuff, it still needs to be some type of corporate representation. Food and stuff is corporate. It's a lot of food and stuffs. I'm gonna put a little parking lot right there. That might be too big. Let's try something smaller.
Pause.
That one works. And a little car wash on the side. I like that. I haven't used these. It's an ice machine too, I think, just to give it even more of a little hood store vibe. Where is the ice machine? There it is, right there. Let's put that right there. We're gonna turn those into deco. They're not gonna be functional. Like ice machine wouldn't get deliveries. This is gonna be a commercial. We'll decorate up. We'll put some signage up there, make it look fancy. And I think on the corner, in honor of our little industrial, this ain't the best neighborhood. Nah, that's not views. I don't really. That doesn't fit. That just doesn't fit right here. We need something that's got a corner vibe. That ain't got no corner vibe. What we got? Uh-oh. There you go. O'Reilly's. Come on with it. And we got the matching sign. We'll drop that down. I feel in that because, like I said, it's right up against that industrial. I doubt it would be that close to these fancy little townhouse joints, but hey, who knows? Maybe the townhouses got built second. The O'Reilly's was like, bro, we pay our bills. We not moving. We good. Y'all move. We're going to surface paint all this up. I think I'm going to end up dropping a little gas station behind that O'Reilly's just to give another little... Our RCI is ridiculous, man. If you look down there, it never budges. So I need to drop as much commercial and take as many opportunities to put down commercial as I can. Y'all see I don't do massive commercial zones. That's in an effort to keep the traffic somewhat under control. We're still holding about 85% right now. No despawning. Hard mode. Y'all know how we do. And I'm going to use these little knick-knack warehouse joints, but they're going to be deco. They're not going to be functional. I just need a buffer between that. Like what feels like it would be right there. And these two things kind of feel like that. Matter of fact, they might not even be deco. I think they might be recoed as office space. Like people that I know own stuff like this and they have photography studios in them and stuff like that. You know, they look dope on the inside. And this little industrial unit, we need to do a little bit of detailing on that to make that just fit in the neighborhood. Let's speed some of this up. Next, I'm gonna drop in some of these tanks and put them on deco. Oh, and I found this jazz club asset, and I think it looks real dope sitting right up against this tram line. I don't properly detail this tram line on this episode, but I will get to it, trust me. So it's the Stag Jam Jazz Club. They probably don't do that much jazz anymore. It's like metal and hip hop and EDM, or anybody that can come pay them bills. You can throw your show at the Stag Jam. And you can kind of see the progress that we made. We filled that in. We done some damage today. I need to detail some of this up, though. You guys stick around.
Hey, yo, check this out. It's going down this Saturday at the Stag Jam over in Camden, the City Sound Showcase. Pull up if you think you got the skills to pay the bills.
Edit stuff like this out of the videos, but I do like to show that, like I said, this is a functional city. I have to use my transfer controller to make sure that depth service is going to that new area. You see the garbage pile up. I need to use the mod to make sure we're getting garbage. Everything is so micro-controlled. We don't have people just standing around with nothing to do in Viridian County. Everybody got a job. Go ahead, bro. Go get my trash. Y'all handle that for me. We can't be having garbage piled up. When garbage piles up, folk complain. When folk complain, I can't play my game. Let's get into some detail.
City Sound.
I don't pay that. I fuck that bitch with a latex. I did a drill with a face man. I wash my hand with the Ajax. I don't pay that. I don't pay that. I don't pay that. I don't pay that. Hold on, lay down. I like that girl from the waist down. I don't think that we should waste time. I heard it was good through the grapevine. Huh? I heard it was good through the grapevine. I heard that you got a great mind. I don't think that we need to waste time. She feeling low with the shoe. I caught that girl playing with my dog. She asking me what it's to. Just know that we smoke them a lot. I take off my shirt when I'm hot. I'm quick to spit on your block. Can't stop the 12 too hot. I'll spin back when they knock. I don't pay that. I fuck that bitch with a latex. I did a drill with a face man. I wash my hand with the Ajax. I don't pay that. I don't pay that. I don't pay that. I don't pay that. Hold on. I be fucking a friend. I hit that bitch with a peace sign. Why you keep calling me twin? You know that you pussy, you feline. She fell in love with a scalper. I caught her playing with my J's. I fell in love with the gun smoke. She caught me playing with my K. Creep up, get out. I'm in your hood with my stick out. You don't catch a body, you get out. Swap hoes with my brothers, we switch out. And I op bitch mouth with my dick out. I squeeze the block to the clip out. I don't make these songs, I flip out. Whenever we see them, it's a blick out. I don't pay that. I fuck that bitch with a latex. I did a drill with a face man. I wash my hand with the Ajax. I don't pay that. I don't pay that. I don't pay that. I don't pay that. Hold on.
The last little bit of our detailing was over at the Stag Jam Jazz Club. It came with some speakers and detailing on the stage, but I bobbed off a lot of it, and we're gonna make our own setup. Half the problem right here at the beginning is I figured out that these props don't stack, so I had to use the stacked speakers and try to kind of hide the little bird's feet at the bottom in the middle. We're gonna act like we don't see that. Don't tell nobody. And this little holiday pack came with a DJ set and some of the speakers, but some of the speakers and preamps and things came with the DLC for the game. You can just buy those. They're just in the props. You can see me lay down the turntable, couple more amps. There's a screen, and I got some microphones that I put down. Put down the microphones. The background singers is back there. It's David Ruffin and the Temptations.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
And we're gonna put some of this lighting, the little stage lighting, and there was a tree right here that came with the asset. I thought that was a dope idea because it is kind of like an outside area, but we want to put our own cool tree. Not that tree, that's too fancy, too small. There we go, that tree fits just fine. And I'm gonna put a pop soda kiosk. Also, I look for every opportunity I can to use my little arcade assets that I found. So we're gonna put some of our arcade machines. Maybe if the band is whack, play some Donkey Kong, for old time's sake. And use some of these pedestrian district tiles. I like the ones with the little musical notes. It feels like something that maybe back when it was a super jazz influenced place they would have put down. Let's lay down some roof access and a couple of surfaces. And we're gonna make this upper area a sitting area. People are actually up here. That lamp is really far off the ground. There we go. And the rest of this is just kind of typical bar detailing. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. The build itself was fancy. And I did go back and add a few performer props. I added some PPG, so people were kind of crowded in there. Also, the cinematics have been shortened. There's no reason to drag it out. Let's get right into it. I definitely think I'm gonna run with the shorter, punchier cinematics for a little while. I like that format. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow me on IG. Thank you to all my new followers. I see y'all. I see the people commenting too. I love it, man. I'm Red Kool-Aid. This is Viridian County. Peace.